I'm Brian Anthony. I'm the director of the Master of Engineering and Manufacturing program and also the co-founder and co-director of the Medical Electronics Device Realization Center, the MEDRC. And I'm in mechanical engineering at MIT. So the high-level goals of the Medical Electronics Device Realization Center, the MEDRC, is to look at areas of medical technology that can be improved by the semiconductor industry. The same way that the semiconductor industry has driven down cost, improved quality throughout their history, from personal calculators to watches to personal communication. The medical device community is far more fragmented than any of those others that I mentioned. And so MIT serves a convening role of bringing together the TIs, the analog devices, the Maxims of the world with the GEs and the Philips, the Nihon Kodens of the world. So the semiconductor companies and the medical device companies. The areas that we've focused upon are point of care technologies, imaging, ambulatory monitoring, but I'd say the highest level theme is how do we drive down costs, improve quality, but also get technology so that it is moving from the hospital to the clinic, moving from the clinic to the home, moving out of the home and onto the patient. And so we're concerned with the devices themselves. How do you make them? How do you design them? How do you manufacture them? How do you get relevant data? And then how do you get actionable information out of that data? Information that can be used either by the patient or by the caregiver. Big data doesn't exist unless you actually have the devices to generate the big data. So we try to cover that full spectrum of technologies and an approach to looking at medical device development and research that brings together those companies, the semiconductor companies and the device companies, MIT as sort of technologists, but then also because of where we sit in Boston, the MGH, Master General Hospital, or Beth Israel, or the hospitals, because given the proximity and given the density of the technology-friendly and technology-aware doctors, it's actually quite exciting and interesting to be able to have that clinical perspective, have that business perspective, and have the technical perspective in the execution of something that is relevant to research at MIT, but also a potential product in the future in one of the companies. So the Master of Engineering in Manufacturing program. So it's a one-year professional program in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. It's a graduate degree, it's 1 year. The students go through the program as a cohort. They take courses that are in sort of the 4 pillars of manufacturing. So in design, in manufacturing process and manufacturing systems, and then in business. The thesis, the project that they do is actually a group project in a company outside of MIT. So a lot of what we do in the program is work with the companies to understand a project that's relevant to them, but that is pedagogically rich and relevant to the students' studies. And so the program in its entirety is 12 months, start to finish. But the students, for 8 months of it, from January to end of August, are actually engaged either part-time or full-time with the company. And so it's very interesting because we don't send them out there to just make work. They don't just do data entry. We're actually asking them to solve a problem that's really in the line of fire and an operational need for the company. So everything from new product introduction, product design, factory floor layout or relayout, quality control or statistical process control, and really making things that are sort of fit within the framework of the course that the students take. But it's very much an educational partnership between MIT and companies. And so that's within the educational framework, and then within the MEDRC, it's more of a research framework. Still education, because the students that are doing their research are learning. It's their thesis, but it's now more of the mindset where visitors from those sponsoring companies will come to MIT and interact with us while executing the research, so that the students that are doing the research have the opportunity to interact with faculty or interact with people from industry, so that by the time they're done and they have their thesis, they have an exposure and a mindset for what it would look like to go into either career path.